On this video we're taking a look at our NFL parlay for the games that are happening on Sunday, January 30th, 2022. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Our first parlay pick will be Cincinnati Bengals vs Kansas City Chiefs. Bengals win, money line. The Titans generated more than 350 yards of offense and consistently moved the ball on the Bengals defense. Still, Titans QB Ryan Tannehill threw 3 brutal interceptions, including one that was almost a pick six in the interception, though this one probably not all his fault, that led to the Bengals game-winning kick. The Titans' offense could not overcome those mistakes and only scored 16 points in the game. The Bengals during the regular season had one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL and led the league in points per play. The Chiefs' offensive line struggled to keep the Bills away from Mahomes, but when they did get close, he just scrambled away, improvised, and more often than not converted a big play. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce did most of the damage on offense, combining for 19 receptions and almost 250 yards and 2 touchdowns between them. The Chiefs' defense allowed Josh Allen to pass for more than 300 yards and rush for 68 while scoring 4 touchdowns. Although they limited the effectiveness of the Bills' number 1 receiver Stephen Diggs, they allowed other receivers to run wild, including Gabriel Davis, who caught 8 passes for 201 yards, a whopping 25-yard per pass average, and 4 touchdowns. The Chiefs might be missing safety Tyrann Mathieu, who is in concussion protocol. Ja'Marr Chase is a big part of that explosive offense and has 13 receiving touchdowns and 22 catches that went for more than 20 yards, and he has only 81 receptions. Cooper Kupp has 145 receptions and only leads him by 3 touchdowns, and besides Kupp, the only receiver with more catches for 20 yards or more is Deebo Samuel. Joe Mixon has also been a great dual threat running the ball and catching it out of the backfield. There are multiple other players on the team that are receiving threats, including T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and tight end CJ Uzomah. All of them had catches against the Titans. I've got to go with Cincy to start off this mega parlay. Getting nearly 3-1 with the Bengals is just too good to pass up. Granted, the game was in Cincinnati, but the Bengals just beat this same Chiefs team as recently as Week 17. In that game, the Chiefs' defense had no answers for Joe Burrow or Ja'Marr Chase, and I don't see how things will be much different this time around. Kansas City is coming off a thrilling win over the Bills, but lost in all the excitement of the overtime victory is the fact that their defense once again reverted to being a complete sieve. It appears Steve Spagnuolo's unit hasn't fixed their woes after all, or they wouldn't have let Gabriel Davis torch them for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns. Remember, in Week 17 they gave up 266 yards and 3 touchdowns to Chase. I sense a pattern. The Bengals' defense is also more talented than most people think, and last week they held Derrick Henry to only 3.1 yards per carry, while forcing Ryan Tannehill into 3 interceptions. I expect this one to come down to the wire, so plus 285 feels generous. Our second parlay pick will be San Francisco 49ers vs Los Angeles Rams, 49ers minus 5.5. The 49ers held the Cowboys, the league's top offense, to just 17 points. They came up big on special teams last week, blocking a punt and scooping it for a touchdown to get past Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Their defense finished the regular season ranked 3rd in the NFL, allowing 310.0 yards per game. San Francisco's offense has not been too shabby either, ranked 7th in yards per game, 375.7. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has completed 61.4% of his passes this postseason with 303 yards, but he has 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Running back Elijah Mitchell has 149 rushing yards through the 2 playoff games, while wide receiver Deebo Samuel has nearly 200 scrimmage yards. The Rams finished outside the top 15 in team defense during the regular season, but they have been the second best defensive team in the playoffs. They are allowing just 271.0 yards per game, putting them just ahead of San Francisco. Los Angeles is number 3 in team offense during the postseason, averaging 401.5 yards per game. Quarterback Matthew Stafford has completed 74.5% of his passes for 568 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp led the NFL in receiving yards during the regular season, and he has picked up where he left off in the playoffs, catching 14 passes for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. The way the 49ers have been able to pull off 2 playoff upsets despite getting almost no production from the quarterback position is impressive, and if Garoppolo can be even anywhere close to how he looked week 18 against the Rams, this team becomes even scarier. McVay's inability to beat Shanahan even with far worse 49ers teams than this makes it hard to trust the Rams, and this is shaping up to be a good matchup for San Francisco to pull off yet another road win. San Francisco's defense has transformed into an elite unit, allowing 5.1 yards per play with an 8.58% sack rate to rank 3rd in the NFL in both stats, behind a huge defensive line rotation that keeps pass rushers fresh, plus a secondary that got much healthier just before the playoffs. Los Angeles's pass rush is scary on the other side for most opponents, but San Francisco was the one dominating the trenches in the regular season, and getting the impossible to tackle Samuel Moore involved in the run game late in the year was huge for the offense. Running back Cam Akers returned at the end of the regular season and has rushed for 103 yards during the 2 playoff games. To wrap this mega parlay up and hopefully bring us home, we've got the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. If San Francisco does win this game, I think they'll win it by 6+, which is why I'm taking this alternate spread. I lean toward Rams in this game overall, but there are very plausible scenarios where the 49ers win with relative ease, so I'm taking the value with the plus 280. Obviously the 49ers won both regular season meetings between these teams, and the Rams' offensive line crumpled when they last played in week 18. Los Angeles was impressive last week, but I think that result had more to do with the Bucs just being overrated than anything else. Tampa's previous 4 games were against the Eagles, Panthers, Jets and Panthers again, which had masked a lot of their issues. San Francisco's defense is peaking at the right time, and they just dominated Aaron Rodgers last week. Disclaimer, no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you the user or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.